हेलो दोस्तों, मेरे चैनल में आपका फिर से स्वागत है। इस वीडियो के अंदर मेरे साथ है आदित्य शर्मा, जिनका एक खुद का स्टूडियो है। तो वेलकम आदित्य। स्टार्ट करते हैं आपके छोटे से इंट्रोडक्शन के साथ। प्रेफर्ड लैंग्वेज बाय आदित्य वाज इंग्लिश, सो दिस एंटायर वीडियो इज गोइंग टू बी इन इंग्लिश। वेलकम आदित्य टू माय चैनल एंड ओवर टू यू।
Hello, hi guys. This is Aditya here from Cryobolt Interactive. We're a small indie studio from Bangalore. Actually, we started this journey a very long time ago. Actually, I had launched my first game in 2018, like when I was in like my first year, and that time I was like in this high school brain kind of guy. And currently, we have launched our latest game in March. So it's been a long journey, and I've learned a lot of things. Thank you to Nikhil for this opportunity here
Most welcome,
to
Aditya.
share my journey.
Most welcome. And can you talk a little bit about the game that you've launched recently?
Yeah. So we have launched a horror puzzle game. It's an FPS, looking around and solving puzzles kind of thing. So you play as one of so there are like two best friends, and then one of them is possessed by this evil, and then you as the other person try to go and save her. So it's a big journey. It's very story driven, and it's available on Steam. I've also shared the details with you, so you could also check it out if you want to. And we actually started the development in June, and we launched it on October 31st. It was very hectic, I would say. Like, the game is fairly long, and puzzles are all elaborate. Getting all of them, nailing down all the nicks and knacks, right? Like how if this thing interferes with another thing, you cannot make all those things took a very long time. But our team was determined, like we will make this happen, and we did actually. So we're proud of ourselves on that. We actually planned to launch this game for Halloween, and we hit it exactly on 31st.
Congratulations on the game launch. And guys, the link of the game is in the description. If you want, you can check it out. And Aditya, my question to you about this specific game was, what inspired you to make this game? What was the idea behind this game?
Okay, so this is it's very unrelated to what game we have made. Actually, it goes in many circles. Like when you're aspiring game dev, you're like, I'm going to make GTA or something like that. So we did that plan back in 2021,
Okay.
and we had this game code. We had this game code named Akeru.
Okay.
Okay, so that was supposed to be a corporate RPG with like multiple maps and this big open world kind of thing. Once we were actually planning it out, we realized we were overscoped, and then we thought like we have to underscope, right? I mean, we are just a handful of people. We can't really get a lot of things done in a short time. So we're like, okay, let's tone down a little bit. Let's make a smaller game. So what we did was we attempted to like let's understand the mobile market. So we actually launched an experimental game called Dead Slash. I mean, it's not a very creative name. So what we took was, if you took the House of the Dead genre and you converted that to mobile, I mean, a lot of people would just keep tapping on the monsters, right? That's not very fun. So we thought like, we should actually make it better. It needs to be a bit more fun. So the closest equivalent is, you believe it or not, the closest equivalent of such a genre on mobile is, Fruit Ninja. You get a lot of watermelons and your fruits up, and you just swipe those off. So we thought like we should take that and convert it to a zombie shooting kind of thing. And we did launch it. It didn't work out very well because we were very new to the mobile market. But it was like, as a technical success, I would take that.
Fantastic. So, what has been your
Yeah.
journey, in terms of learning from the mobile and PC market? Is there any difference from the audience perspective? Is there any, difference in terms of the way that people perceive a game on mobile versus PC? What have been your learnings in that case?
Yeah, that there's a big difference. Like, if you go for a mobile development, right, you have to really work on user retention, because the attention span of mobile gamers, this is very general, this is not scientific, but this is what I have seen myself. Attention span of mobile gamers is way less compared to somebody who would play on a console. Actually, console players is the highest. PC comes right in the middle of these two. So the games have to be tailored, built for that audience. No, we are all seasoned PC game developers, and then once we tried the mobile market thing, it didn't work out for us, because we needed to do a lot more homework on that, and it didn't work out for us. I'm not saying that mobile developers, mobile gamers are anything like the short attention span or anything, but that's just how it is.
That's a very interesting fact
that is a market, and I don't feel like that's a bad thing inherently. I mean, because there is so many options out there, you really have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I 100% agree with you on this part because if we look at an average mobile game session time, it's very less as compared to what a usual player plays on a PC or console. So great insight on that part. Which brings me to my next question is, you've selected the horror genre for your game, right? I'm very scared of playing horror games. So what has been your development experience in terms of certain trigger points that you probably used in terms of psychological hooks while building the game? What makes your game a horror game?
So there are two kinds of horror games. Okay, one is the horror game that is trying to wet your underwear, and the other one is a horror themed game. That the horror themed horror games don't necessarily need to be scary. They're just centered around a horror theme. Like, it's like Halloween. It's not necessarily a scary thing. It's just a very dressed up kind of thing. So we went for that kind of, like, we went for a more horror themed approach instead of an actual horror approach. A horror approach is very difficult to pull off, actually. There is no replayability in a horror game versus a horror themed game. So horror themed game, you have to concentrate on keeping it fun, keeping it moving, and like, there needs to be a lot more user feedback for a horror themed game. Now, if you make a game equivalent of, let's say, Slender Man, that's a horror game. That's not a horror theme. So that one is designed to keep you on your toes. It's designed to give you less feedback and overwhelm you with more feedback once the horror element kicks in. So they literally, the graph goes like nothing happening, and then suddenly it spikes up. But for a horror theme game, what we have gone for is more like, it's more action packed than trying to spook somebody. So we have done our market research on that too, on the horror thing.
That's a very interesting take that you put out on horror versus horror themed game. So do you think someone like me who's scared of playing horror games might actually enjoy playing a horror themed game?
Yeah, of course. That's the entire reason we have even put out, like, this. Actually, if you're trying to make a horror themed game, first thing is, do not put the horror tag right at the beginning. Okay, that is not doing it justice. That horror tag needs to be used much better. So you can put an action. What is your secondary genre, and then you can put horror, because if you're making a horror theme, the theme is always the third thing you should consider when purchasing a game. So I would say, like, keep the horror element. If you're horror theme, you should keep your horror tags a little away. That's the only thing what we faced in the beginning of our once we launched our game, right? So in the beginning, that's the problem we faced. Like, we had kept the horror tag right at the beginning, and then nobody seemed to be interested in it because it was not a horror game. It was a horror themed game. So people do look at that subconsciously. They don't say it out loud, but that's what they actually are trying to. That's what they mean.
One thing I really liked about the entire development approach that you took was that you aimed for a Halloween release and achieved those deadlines in that amount of time. So I think you started, as you mentioned, June or July, right? And
Yeah.
you launched on the 31st of October. So
Yeah. So
advise someone to actually have them achieve their deadlines or targets, because game development is a process that is extensive, and sometimes there are feature creeps, there are bugs, etc., etc., and things tend to get overboard, right? So what is your take, or what is your advice to someone who wants to achieve their deadlines?
I mean, I'll tell you what our team does. Our team mostly comprises of software engineers, so we know how to work with tech stacks much more efficiently. We have that kind of thing. I mean, I was in finance for almost 4 years in the backend, so critical mission data management. I have some uh, I have some experience with it, so those things do translate down into my game dev journey. Now I'm full time, but what I would say is our team also follows the waterfall model instead of the agile model. I would say that actually fits video game development much better, because if you have a good vision right at the beginning and you plan everything out, like, this is how everything must happen, you must spend 2 weeks, I would say, at least, not writing any code, no prototyping even. I'm not kidding. Just take pen and a paper, draw some things, put it on a desk, get your friends around with you, emulate it on the desk, what you're trying to achieve. Like, this person interacts with this, stuff like that. Write down what's good, what works, what is not fun, what everything. Then the other 2 weeks, the 1 month of planning, the other 2 weeks, you make very simple prototypes of what you're trying to do. Blockouts. Now, our group isn't all that great at art. We buy all our assets from Cinti, and we don't asset flip anything. We have a level designer who takes everything, and then we also plan out the layouts and everything. So it's all original design. That is how it should be, maybe. Not sure. Anyway, so on the tech stack, we follow the waterfall model, and I would say for small studios, please plan out everything beforehand and then do not change anything as you develop. No matter how much you feel like, this would be great, do not do it. That's feature creep, and you will add another. That gives you that incentive. Okay, I added this feature, maybe I can add another one, and then it keeps adding up, and then you'll never hit your deadline. Also, when you feel like your game is done, I'm parroting this from other people, but when you feel your game is like 90% done, it's actually 50% done, because you know what you have not done yet? QA. You have not done the QA yet. QA is so much. QA is important, and what I've seen with other game developers is that they just test on their machine, they test on a couple more machines, and then they call it a day, which is fair for a lot of few people. They do not have access to a lot of things, so try to run your game on anything you can, like anything, any computer you can get your hands on. Just test on it and see what happens.
That's great advice, Aditya. And another thing that I want to add as a follow up to this question is, a lot of people think that launching a game is end of the journey, right? So was it true in your case, or has it been a journey wherein you saw some spikes at certain points of time? How was that journey?
Marketing is a forever process. You have to do it all the time. Even when you're sleeping, even when you're sleep, you have to sit and market your game. Otherwise, there are like 8 billion people on this planet. Okay, you have to convincing 0.001% is also extremely difficult. I mean, just ask your friend to play the game, and I took at least 4 days for him to actually boot up the game on it, and like, okay, bro, the game is good. And that itself is terrible, because I want him to criticize the game and he's not doing it.
True.
Marketing is extremely difficult. Do not launch a game if you do not have an audience already for it.
That's a really great insight. A lot of people think that launching the game is the end of the story, but as you rightly mentioned, marketing is everything. What have your marketing efforts been for this game?
We have used Keymailer, and we have got a lot of great streamers responses on our game. So that has helped. We have like around 7 reviews as of now, but we need to hit that Steam's 10 review threshold before Steam actually puts us onto the actual discovery queue. Right now we are on a very limited discovery queue still as of this video. So you got to get the word out. You have to make Reddit posts, you have to make Twitter posts, threads is something we have tried. Like we are the first adopters of threads, so we got a lot of followers, but that is early bird thing, and it doesn't really help even then. Like we have like 1,000 followers, but I would say like only about maximum 10 or 15 people have come from that area.
So basically,
Maximum.
thought process is to just utilize all the social media channels or all any and every
Everything.
channel, because you mentioned threads, right? Threads is a relatively smaller channel compare it did receive its hype back in the day, but it is still a smaller channel. However, even if you're able to get like 10 people from there, 5 people from there, and they end up talking about the game positively, that kind of creates a ripple effect for your game. And you also mentioned about streamers and all. So what observing all the marketing that has gone through for your game in recent times, what has been some of the most satisfying feedbacks for your game that you've received so far?
Actually, the best thing that we got done was curator reviews, curators from Steam itself. That is your best bet. If you have a game worth showing to a curator, then you should. We have got one of our curators has mentioned that this is an excellent game and everything. So actually, you should reach out to curators more often. That's the best thing you can do for Steam release. I'm
Fantastic.
not sure about the Play Store releases, but I would say on Steam, please keep your curators happy. And how do you keep them happy is you have to make a good game. That's the only thing you can do.
And Steam is more of a premium market, right? Mobile is right now riddled with a lot of freemium titles, wherein it's more of a free to play, or there's like an in-app purchases and all. Steam, on the other hand, is a completely different behemoth, wherein you have to tackle, wherein you have to create a quality game. You cannot just get away with another game out there in the market. You have to make sure that people are paying for your game, so they receive the best quality that there is. So you briefly touched upon the part wherein there's a difference between a mobile gamer and a PC gamer, and it is nothing to do with the kind of games that they play. It is just the way that this ecosystem has built over the years. I mean, we have played games like Midtown Madness, Road Rash, Grand Theft Autos, your Need for Speeds, and all, and we've invested ourselves in these games, in these universes, right? So taking all of these experiences, what has been your personal favorite PC game that you've played over the years, and that has actually impacted your game development journey and made you decide that this is my inspiration?
Oh yeah, of course I have one. It's the Yakuza series. Um, I absolutely love it. I've dropped in more than 400 to 500 hours into all the games.
Wow.
And it's I mean it's a single player game. There's no multiplayer element to it, and still, if over all the series, if you drop 500 hours, I feel it's a big deal to myself. And because of those games, actually, I've been studying Japanese for the past 2 years, and our game Whispers in Paradise is localized in Japanese too. So um, that's one more thing I would say is on Steam. Actually, everybody's looking for effort. Your effort really needs to be seen, and you really need to show all the effort you have. Yes, I mean, you need to make a trailer showcasing all the things that are available in your game. A lot of people do this mistake of showing this very fancy cutscene that these guys took about, let's say, a week to make. Yeah, I mean, you took a week to make, but then how does a random person on the internet know you took a week to make this?
Yeah.
Okay, to him, that cutscene means nothing. It's a very unfortunate how it goes, but that cutscene means nothing to them. What means something to them is if they see a variety of things. Like I mean, us Indians, we love variety. So if you do not show variety, and it's not just us, you have to show it to the entire world. So if you do give everybody variety, like our game has this, our game has that, we have levels, and like I mean, a simple thing like Mario itself, you can see Mario's got a lot of enemies, types, it's got different level kind of thing. Right. It's a very simple game underneath. I mean, some speedrunners have finished the game like 4 minutes. but why do people still love the game? Because there's so much to do in the game besides just speedrunning it. So that variety needs to be shown in your trailers and your cutscenes and everything. If you do not show your effort, nobody really cares about your game. That's one thing I've noticed. We had to redo our trailers multiple times actually before we started getting an uptick. It really matters, trust me. It really, really matters.
That's true. That's true. So, guys, if you want to check out the game Whispers in Paradise, it is available on Steam. I've also done a small recording of the game on my channel, so I'll leave the description link in the description as well. Check that out. And if you like the video, if you like the game, please do go ahead and buy the game and support them. Please do not pirate any games. Just pay the amount. It's available at a very menial price point. It won't make a dent in your pocket, but it'll mean a lot to the developers. And piracy is a big issue, especially that hurts the PC game developers a lot. So Aditya, any thoughts on piracy? Has it kind of caused any issue to you personally as of now, or
Yeah, our game was pirated within the first few hours of our release. We have no idea how that happens, but okay, fine, whatever. The thing is, I would say, like, I do speak to a lot of game developers. Okay, so what they say is, do not buy indie game keys from G2A and those key resellers. Do not do that. That actually hurts us more than piracy. Because how they resell is, they get this. I don't know how true it is or anything. We have not been a victim of it yet. So, but what they do say is, these guys, they take illegal credit cards and then they buy a bulk key set, and then they sell all of these, and then the chargeback happens to the developer. So the developer actually loses money when you buy these resold keys. Do not do that for indie games, at least. Like, actually just go pirate it at this point. Like, yeah, you're not paying us, but then we are not losing money if you pirate something. Right. But yeah, if you do support us, if you do believe in what we do, please buy a game and support us, because we have tables to put food on too. So yeah.
That's true. That's true.
That's one thing.
Are there any advice to budding game developers, aspiring game developers who want to get into the industry? Any piece of advice from your side?
Talk to more people, I would say. You need all the insight you can get. You do not ever think you can make a game on your own. Okay, because you will use tutorials, you will read documentation, you will use somebody's engine. Okay, and there are people out there who are better than you. Okay. And there are a lot of people out there willing to help you as well. And that help goes a long way. Trust me, that help goes a very, very long way. And plus, you get to actually hit your deadlines. You get to create friends. You get to start a bigger company. You can actually work on bigger projects if you can, nail it down. We actually have been in this India Elite Game Dev something, the group, and a couple of years ago we had been at Hypernova Games. They have a showcasing the trailer for Mumbai Gullies in Bangalore. So I was there. We met a lot of people, and back then we didn't really have any game to show, but recently on 23rd December, so there was this company, Bombay Play, and thank you, Ollie, for inviting us. We met this person. They were great at art, is what they said, and we told them we're not all that great at art. So we thought, like, we can actually barter something. We can help them out on like tech stuff, and they can help us out on art. It does create this community feeling. But yeah, to solo devs, I would say talk to more people about the thing. Connect with more people about it. You'll get a much better insight on what you want to do. Like, you can make a platformer game, but then if you're going to be another generic platformer game on Steam, it's not gonna work out for you, not for anybody else. Other people can tell you what to do with your platformer game. They can give you much better advice, like, you can do it like this, or you can do it like that, and it'll really help you out. Okay, I've been helped out by a lot of people in my life, and I thank everybody for it. So that's the only advice I would give to budding developers. Everything else, you'll figure it out. I'm not kidding.
Fantastic. Aditya, this was a great conversation. Thank you very much for taking out time to talk about your game and share all these wonderful insights. It was a pleasure to have you on my channel, and I'm pretty sure my audience, whoever watches this video, goes ahead and supports your game. Guys, again, if you want to check out the game, link is in the description. I have also played the game and uploaded a video about the game on my Nikhil Malankar Plays channel. So be sure to check that out as well. And please, please, please buy the game, support the game. Do not pirate the game, and do not buy any reseller keys, especially. So Aditya, thank you very much for joining in, and I'll see you again. Yep. And I think you're to come to Mumbai that you promised. So
Yeah,
we'll
I'm planning. I would love to meet you in person. So yeah, we can take this ahead.
done. So once again, whenever Aditya will be in Mumbai, we'll record another video and you'll see him very soon. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like this video, hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Thank you.